The Square Ball Podcast.
Propaganda is the show where we find out what's been said about Leeds United. Dan, Michael, and Moscow with you for part 2 of the show. This is the Leicester half. Michael, in part 1, you almost oversold how exciting this is going to be. The cut and thrust of Leicester's fan opinion.
I didn't talk about Leeds much.
No.
Selfish. I think they're in a bit of a moment of...
Do they not realise we're far more important than that?
Well, exactly. I was thinking that throughout the whole... I was listening to sometimes hours of it and barely even mentioned us. Absolute selfish, self-absorbed pigs. But anyway, beyond the 90 LCFC, listen to this nonsense.
Pigs.
I think David puts in a comment as well, Alex, I'll give that over to you, but nice as wheel, but we made them look better than we were, which I kind of agree. But to the point, Leeds swamped us, and they did look decent today.
Whatever. Leicester Fan TV.
I've just been looking through celebrity Leicester fans, because this was mentioned at the end of the other propaganda episode. There aren't any, really.
Lineker.
There was that woman who we were passing off as a Leeds fan around the shirt launch. I can't remember her name now.
Oh, no.
She was not even famous enough to justify her attempted inclusion as a Leeds fan, but yeah, she lives in Leeds but is a Leicester fan, I think.
The top one on this website is Sam Bailey.
Oh, from the X Factor.
Winner of the 10th series of the X Factor.
Him from Kasabian. He always wears a Leicester shirt.
We've got Dave Bartram of Shawaddy Waddy. Manish, throwing it back to the old EFL days.
In his loft.
He quite often turns up on international coverage that you can find on the internet, does Manish?
Basil Brush.
That makes it sound like pornography. I'm talking about it. I'm talking about like American coverage of the Premier League or something.
Does Basil Brush ever pop up in the same?
If you'd know the right places.
In the niche stuff.
So there's
CSB Plus.
There's Engelbert Humperdinck, apparently, David Icke, Julie Etchingham.
David Icke, good solid guy. Watch some of his YouTube videos, Dan.
The other people, it just seems like people who are really from Leicester, like Martin Johnson, who played for Leicester Tigers and rugby union for the England teams. Like, well, yeah, he's from Leicester, so...
That king was buried in Leicester, wasn't he, as well, that dead king? Was it Richard III?
Well, if you believe the hype.
Are they having him as a mascot?
Rusty Lee from Leicester. Who else? Mark Morrison, of course, Return of the Mac. Roy Cropper, David Nielsen from Coronation Street. Gary Newbon, Lembit Opic, Nicholas Parsons, Willie Thorne, and Arlo White.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, you could, if you want to go on Wikipedia yourself, you can find all this.
Willie Thorne and Gary Lineker were friends, weren't they?
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Well, they had Leicester City in common, I'd imagine.
So Willie Thorne at Donington Services once. That's the story, isn't it?
Here's what happened.
He was at Ladbrokes and then did turn out he had a gambling problem, so that kind of makes sense.
That does add up. The evidence was there, wasn't it?
It was.
Right.
From the one time I saw him,
you didn't feel like staging an intervention? So Willie, no, put the little small pen down and
I just left him to it.
Yeah. You didn't know him, did you?
No.
Right, next
Anyway,
one.
someone who's not from Leicester Fan TV, we had this person on last year. Well, there's a couple of American guys. You'll remember him when you hear this first clip.
Yeah! Let's go!
That guy. Do you remember him?
It's Jesse Marsh, etc., etc.
Said let's go a lot. They did speak to a bloke at the game who thought we'd actually played quite well, although I think he kind of mixes up his expressions.
Is this when they spoke to him at the game?
Yeah! Let's go!
Not him.
No.
Did he think we were wearing blue? This guy.
Right, this bloke at the game.
Leeds, for fair, they had good chances. I don't think they played very well, Leeds, to fair. But obviously, in the day, if you don't take your chances, what's that word? If you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle.
Right.
So,
yeah.
That's the one.
But we did. We had shots, so we did buy tickets, but we still didn't win the raffle.
Yeah, correct.
So I don't think that expression works there.
No, you're right.
Does it?
Yeah, no, you're right.
They had what they had. Basically, we had 10 times the tickets they had for the raffle.
They bought one and won it.
They bought one and won it.
Yeah.
Raffles are shit. That's what the expression should be.
Stick to the tombola.
Raffles are unfair.
Or is a tombola a form of raffle?
I'd say so. It's a self-drawn raffle, isn't it?
Yeah.
You win some body shop products that someone didn't want for Christmas.
But at least, they've not been poured into a rabbit's eyes, and that's important.
Yeah, good. So the best thing I took from Leicester Fan TV was them talking about Bovril, because they're American, and obviously Bovril is a bit weird. And I just love his absolute incredulity at what Bovril is.
We'll play the clip, and then, because we know we've got listeners abroad, we should probably explain what Bovril is.
I think they do a reasonable job of it.
Let's go.
We have won by the power of Bovril.
Let's go.
New proposal. Whoever works at Bovril, get involved. Let's get Bovril as the sleeve sponsor next season.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, just to let you know, Bovril is a meat or yeast extract.
Gross.
Oh, yeast. I don't like the taste of yeast-based stuff. Like, it's the same with Marmite. I know Marmite, yeast-based spread. I'm firmly in the no camp on Marmite.
Yeah, English cuisine is crazy, bro. And I'm
there's English stuff that I love. Marmite's not one of them.
Or it can either be spread on toast or as a hot drink on cold winter days.
You can put it on bread or make a drink out of it. Wow. Wow.
I love.
This all feels really, really on point because we've got Jesse Marsh this week, doesn't
He's got a point, though. Yeah. It is weird that you put it on bread and make a drink out of it.
Bovril on toast is all right, But it is essentially just cow paste.
It's very thick stuff, isn't it? You wouldn't think you could necessarily eat it if someone showed you it.
Treacle or sugar syrup, isn't it? Like gloopy stuff, yeah.
But made out of
cow bits.
Cow feet or something.
I mean, we don't know that.
No. It is made out of cow, though, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
That's confirmed.
I mean, we could have looked up before we got into this exactly what it is made out of. But
you found a Bovril, Moscow?
No, not really.
But yeah, you can use said paste and then pour hot water in it, and you can buy it in cups at the football, can't you? And keep yourself beefy and warm if your heart fancies that.
That's salt for it. Anyway. Excellent for you, I'm sure.
Oh dear. Next one.
Leicester Till I Die TV. This guy's getting really carried away, basically it's the best day of his life, and he also gets the score wrong, which is good.
Yeah. Let's go.
Sorry, I just love that clip. So when you said he was getting excited, here we go.
2-0 to the boys in blue. Vikram, amazing. Oh, it was I haven't felt this good all season.
No,
because you've just invented a score to be happy about. Because it was 4-0 to Leeds at Leicester. I feel great.
You've been operating under the misconception that we beat Liverpool on the opening day of last season still, so...
I mean, yeah, and there's also the
West Ham win earlier in the season,
which we lost. I was about to say it was a draw. That one will just never stick in my poor broken mind.
And I think you did say we had a clean sheet against Leicester in the first part of this as well.
Honestly, I don't know why.
Did he? I don't even know.
I think you're saying you were making the general point about the defence improving, and then accidentally said we kept a clean sheet, and then went, except they scored.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you keep asking me to come back on this. It's got to be somebody better.
However, they did.
They beat Randers 4-1.
Who?
Randers.
That's the UEFA conference doodah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or a misspelling of Rangers.
So, I mean, I don't know how this possibly is better than that.
Let's bloody get through this and get to the fun bits.
They did notice we'd improved.
Good.
Anyway.
I mean, I did the watch along with the Leeds fan, and I did actually manage to get in that, are you crying into your Hovis? Even though I did feel a little bit, I shouldn't have really been saying it because we weren't necessarily the best. I mean, had that game, and I know it's ifs, buts, maybes, but they were definitely an improved Leeds from recently. 14 goals in 3 games, down to 1-0. They had, and we'll talk sort of shots on target and everything later, but they were an improved Leeds. And had that ended as a draw, I don't think we could have complained.
Very reasonable. Great. Right, let's just
hold on. Crying into your Hovis. Right.
It's from a Sky fan zone thing. I can't remember which game it is, but it's Leicester beating Leeds, and it's Bob Tappin is in the commentary box with a Leicester fan who is shouting about crying into your Hovis at Bob Tappin. So I think it's become, in the same way as the Viduka goal has become sort of Leeds folklore from fan zone.
Yeah, Bob Tappin, we should say, is the guy in the documentary, on Amazon. Very enthusiastic man, very expressive.
The 3-2 win over Arsenal where Viduka scores, and he's just, sorry, I'm spitting on you, mate, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's an equivalent of that for Leicester.
Because Sky, we should say that the UK coverage of Sky used to have two fans in, one from each team, doing their alternative version of commentary instead of like Martin Tyler, who was on the commentary.
And it's amazing no one ever got punched because they absolutely scream in each other's faces.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to go back to whenever that happened and point out that Hovis, it was founded in Macclesfield, brand originated in Stoke-on-Trent, current headquarters in High Wycombe. What the fuck's it got to do with us?
I think you've looked into it too deeply.
Yeah, you care too much.
Well, it's... I don't know. If they're going to, throw products of Leeds at us, be accurate. Don't bring Hovis into this. It's got absolutely nothing to do with anything.
Right, let's get onto the wider world of propaganda, stuff that's not just been said about Leeds, but in the wider world of football, not just opposition fans.
This is the relevance we need. Yes. Steve Nicol.
Steve Nicol, a big fan. We're big fans of him on this show due to his dour broadcasting style and his interesting lifestyle choices, such as pre-match meal of 6 bags of crisps.
You think he'd have loved this Leicester game? You see, that's an appropriate reference. Crisps, Leicester, not Hovis Leeds.
I bet, given Steve Nicol's love of salt, I reckon he would eat Bovril like a yoghurt. Just sit and eat the full...
Straight off a dessert spoon.
The full jar of it just poured straight into his greedy little mouth.
Anyway, here's what he has to say.
A look at the relegation odds here, Stevie. Leeds right in the thick of it. Can you see them surviving?
I actually don't, and I don't think it's getting anything to do with the manager either. I think the truth is that the players they have aren't good enough. It doesn't help that 3 of your main players, like Calvin Phillips in particular, Bamford up top, Cooper, your captain, it doesn't help that they're not playing, because for Leeds to win games, they have to be number one at the best and be able to pick their best 11. And they haven't been able to do that, and it seems unlikely they're going to be able to do that between now and the end of the season. And that means they've got what they've got. And what they've got is shown they're not good enough. And it's going to be tough for Jesse to come in and completely change the style. He says he's going to tweak it, but the truth again is that the way that they're playing the game, when you're losing 4, 5 and 6, it's the complete wrong game. So if you're going to have to change things, and I think they're going to have to change the way they play, and that means they're going to have to be more defensive and tighter, and take a leaf out of Bovril Wood. You see what can be done with average players if they play as a unit.
Bovril Wood, that's our example. There we go.
Something to aspire to. But if Leeds have proven they're not good enough to now, then who of the teams below us is going to get better while we don't? Because if he says Leeds have got to change and they've proven that we're not good enough to stay up, well, surely Burnley, Watford, Norwich, who are all in the bottom 3, have also proven they're not good enough with what they're doing. So are any of them going to change?
I reckon.
Or does it just the bottom 5 stays exactly as it is? Because nothing can ever change. It just starts and it continues.
I can't see
and then it ends.
anyone surviving.
I was going to say, I think if you'd have asked him
Bring on the darkness.
If you'd have asked him about Spurs staying up, he'd have been like, no, there's nothing they can do.
They're in trouble.
What's going to happen? Even if they stay up this year, next year, the season after,
everyone
the season
dies.
after, the one after,
everyone dies. Everyone dies, Michael.
The death of the planet.
I mean, Bovril Wood lost anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
To a shit Everton team.
Well, as we've seen, because we're recording this the morning after they went to Tottenham and did even worse against them than we did.
Yeah,
Sack Lampard.
That was under their new manager, but it was all the old problems.
And he's gone in there now saying, but I ain't got a magic wand. Like, well, neither, as far as I can tell, do Eddie Howe or Steven Gerrard, but they seem to have gone into their clubs and got an improved results.
Yeah.
Whereas Lampard's got 1 win against Leeds, chuckled it up, laughed his little head off on the touchline and lost every other game.
Well, that's the thing.
Apart from the one in the FA Cup, that was Brentford and it don't count.
I know we're retreading old ground here, and some people would hate us even talking about Bielsa again now, because he's a past and you've got to move on. But if ever there was a counter example,
massive just framed picture of him there. There's a statue.
He's there. He's there.
He's in here in my heart.
My dad's got him tattooed on his body. You know that.
This is his
face. On
I don't think we're moving on anytime soon.
Not yet,
people just got to deal with that.
But I was going to say, if ever there's a counter example for what Lampard is saying there, it's Bielsa. What he did with that Stoke game, which was to walk in and went, I can make all these look great. Yeah, it's almost like the coach has some influence anyway.
Well, no, I mean, this is just going on a Lampard rant, but after the Spurs game, and he's always like, the players, they've got to realise what they're doing. Are you not part of this?
No.
Like we've come in here and they knew it was like they were in a bad way, and we've tried to tell them to improve what's going on. Like, it's this barrier that is always there, and I think to really pull the contrast after we got hammered by Spurs, Bielsa sent out camera, press conference, interview, question. It's my fault. The things I'm asking the players, maybe they're not responding to me anymore. I don't know. I hope I can turn this around. Lampard beaten even worse in an even worse performance. Well, now the players just like
they're not listening to me.
They're not listening. They're just not taking it on board. They're fools if they think they can't. They're not in a relegation battle. Sack him. Actually, don't sack him. Get relegated.
Do not sack him.
Get relegated with him in charge. But he will just walk blissfully away, won't he? Try. He'll be on the World Cup.
It was an impossible
coverage.
Situation.
Yeah, I did what I could with those lads. But Rafa, I got all the respect in the world for Rafa. But I just couldn't repair the damage he done.
It's a great accent. Love it. Let's have some real Manc accent now. Let's start with Stretford Paddock, because this is from their watch along. This is Andy who's on it. You'll have seen clips of him before. He's probably the most Manc.
Will I?
Yeah.
Under what circumstances?
People laughing at him, basically, and it's because he does stuff like this, which is actually crying during a live watch along of a Manchester derby.
Fucking all laying this, isn't it? This is fucking humiliating. This is really hurting me. These lazy bastards on the pitch. Fuck off. Don't fucking walk these streets. We all fucking do. Don't know what it fucking means to be from Manchester. I don't care if you're Marcus Rashford or fucking David De Gea, fucking Maguire. You're not part of this. You don't walk these streets, lad. Honestly, I'm fucking filling up with it. I'm upset. I'm fucking angry, and I'm not going to blow just for all this for social media. No chance. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's not. It's this
fucking
second half been really bad, on it. The second half's been awful, and the fact that they've come out from the first half, which wasn't that bad, to.
I'm literally filling up here, Joe, and I'm seriously, I'm fucking
angry. You don't need to say anything if you don't want to, mate. You don't worry about it. Take a minute if you want to. We don't need. You can.
I know there's more life to football, but this is one match that it means something to me.
If you need to have a minute, have a minute.
And if you're out there looking at me, have a laugh. Seriously, mate, I don't care.
We are. Just for the record, David De Gea. Don't walk these streets. He's from Madrid. Don't walk.
He probably lives in Cheadle. Yeah. It's like, be fine walking around there. I don't think there's going to be any. Well, actually, I mean, the houses keep getting turned over, don't they? So maybe there is a certain risk to Cheshire life if you're a scum footballer.
I enjoy the other bloke on it, who is Joe, who's the one with the long hair, he's kind of always on it. Just clearly wants him to leave because it's awkward. He's like, if you want to stop talking at any point, or indeed fuck off.
Yeah. There's any chance you could just go away?
Because the rest of them are miserable.
Yeah.
There's like the Ollie Decor lookalike one. I can't remember his name now, but at certain points he's kind of laughing about it, which is it's kind of what you fall back on, isn't it? Sometimes in these situations, you're like, we're just shit. Look at the state of this. And meanwhile, Andy's a broken man. I mean, you don't walk these streets.
You can't look at Harry Maguire and cry. You have to look at Harry Maguire and laugh.
Right, Webby and O'Neill.
Webby and O'Neill.
No.
Webby, no O'Neill.
Right, so normally O'Neill talks and Webby is generally sort of goes, yeah, we found him from previous. Yeah. But there's no O'Neill. So
we got Kieran this week.
The band leader is not there.
We've got Kieran, who's the one sort of doing. He's taking now the secondary role. Webby's stepping up.
But it's like a butterfly stepped out of his chrysalis and he's blooming. His beautiful wings have.
But Kieran understands his role,
right?
As you can hear in this first clip.
Webby, in the end, mate, it was a total capitulation from Manchester United. That 20 minutes, the last 20 minutes, it was hard to watch, mate.
Give up. Never seen it before in my life. That third goal goes in, give up.
Yeah.
Didn't want to run, didn't want to do anything.
So he's understood it.
Yeah.
And then this is from a 12-minute clip.
Maybe it's on the job description.
This is the super cut of the yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Disappointed, mate, and 4-1 flatters us.
Yeah.
He flatters an old second now. It's not very rare. I'm lost for words, mate.
Yeah.
Have a look at yourself.
Yeah.
Have a look at yourself. Absolute took the mickey out of us.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are already leaving because they think they're too big and don't want to sign a new contract. We could be talking 10, 15 years before we challenge them for trophies in this league.
Yeah.
And it's saying 4-1 flatters us, mate.
Yeah,
and over the 2 games this year, our man of match again today was De Gea. Again.
Yeah.
We're 5 or 6 players short of challenging, not winning in, just challenging players who want to be at the club. You know, you seen it there on the match when City had a free kick, they lost the ball. They had 8 or 9 players chasing the ball.
It. Yeah.
We don't see that. We've give up.
Yeah.
Those players in that dressing room now.
Yeah, do you know what, mate? I can't disagree with any of your comments.
Amazing.
Very good.
I enjoyed that.
So yeah, he's ready. The pathway that Angus Kinnear talks about.
Yeah, he's drafted him in from the under-23s, hasn't he? There,
he knows that he plays the system. That's the thing. That's the thing when you develop players properly.
Mind you, Tyler Roberts is out of action now, so he might be drafted in ahead of him.
Yeah,
I think he brings a little bit more life to it than the previous guy. There's a little bit more variety of There
was a sexy one, wasn't there?
There was. Yeah. I'm intrigued by this. Never seen players giving up like that before. Like last season when they got beaten 6-1 by Spurs at Old Trafford. That was just as bad. And then there are countless occasions over the last few years I've watched scum players just wandering around the pitch looking completely lost. It's been hilarious. So I don't know what he's been watching. There is nothing new about that team giving up and being chronic, and it's hilarious.
I mean, football makes idiots out of all of us, doesn't it? But it's
none more so than Johnny United.
It's nice to shine a light on other people, to know that the madness is not only ours. Johnny United is the guy he's from Bradford, isn't he? Is Johnny United, and goes on expletive-laden rants. And when we first discovered him, he went absolutely mental for about 5 minutes. And then he just, in a real hurry, signed off the end of that.
Have a good day.
Like, all right, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, thanks everybody. Bye. Like that, really, really quickly. So he's found his little niche on. Is it?
It's the Twitter
Spaces. Yeah, on Twitter now. So you basically all go in there, and in theory, you all talk,
which is problematic because it means you can't listen back to him. But thankfully, people always make clips when he speaks.
Because people are wise to this now, aren't they? So bless them, they're recording it
because he is always guaranteed to produce this sort of thing. He's sincere as well. I don't think he's laying it on thick. I think it's just the way he is. I suspect he speaks to shopkeepers and mechanics and stuff in exactly this same tone.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys.
But here he is talking. He's talking about Bruno Fernandes and his XGA is what he's talking about. The expected assists is what that essentially is.
This fucking fraud. Do you know what Bruno Fernandes is? Do you know what you remember back in the day? You used to get a £50 note. That fake £50 note. That's what he's a fucking fake. He's a fucking fake. I've been saying it for fucking months. All because he gets his GA. This fucking GA. How's about you watch the fucking player? I've been on to this guy for fucking time. Get this, honestly, get him out too. Take your GA and fuck off.
Johnny, let Shadow finish, man. Let Shadow finish, wallah. Let Shadow finish, man, wallah.
Fucking, he got a 79 GA, so he's a good player. Fuck your GA.
Listen, let Shadow finish, man, wallah. Mute yourself, wallah, Johnny, mute yourself. Shadow, go ahead, man, speak.
People trying to talk him down. Johnny.
Whoa. It's only a game.
Just back in the day, you used to get a fake £50 note.
You know when you were running counterfeit currency scam.
I'm sure counterfeit notes still exist.
Yeah.
Yes, that's not ended.
No.
Maybe for him there. Maybe that scheme has come to a close.
Possibly.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, he goes on.
Has he calmed down?
What do you think?
Just Pogba. There's a load of names in that fucking team. I don't see enough of it. That. Do you know what? I fucking represent Man United. I wear that jersey for Manchester United, and I know what that means to that shirt. That means I fucking die on that pitch for these fans. I fucking die on that pitch for these fans. Are these players dying? Can you look through that 1 to 11 and look at them players and tell me they're dying for this club? Are they dying for it? No, they're fucking not. They're taking the piss out of me. They're taking the piss out of you lot. They're taking the piss out of all of us for a fucking paycheck. Well, honestly, buy Sancho Varane, sell the fucking lot. I've had enough.
More death on the pitch.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they'd be worth in the transfer market if they're,
the same, etc. As far as Harry Maguire's concerned.
Wow, he's certainly got the bit between his teeth, hasn't he? Yeah.
I only tuned in for the last 20 minutes of that game, and it was hysterically bad for Man United. They had completely given up, and it was like Man City were just toying with them and having a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, the stat that they got to that everyone's talking about is it was 92% possession at one point. And it's like that's That's too much. That's too many.
And what percentage deaths for their Man United team?
0% deaths.
0% deaths.
Like Roy Keane.
They should have been looking at least 40% deaths.
11 expected deaths, except Sancho and Varane. Sorry, so 9.
Yes, and we saw that in Roy Keane, who was in the studio afterwards, didn't we? Just absolutely going bananas. It's great to see. And I won't mind, but they're still pushing for the Champions League spots.
The thing is, as well, they're all. When you listen to them, they're saying, "I'll be 10 years before we're competing and stuff." It probably won't, because
they finished second last year, Michael.
They've got loads of money, and they just need a decent manager, and they've got the money to fix it, so it'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I guess the one sort of slight shadow over it all is that Ralph Rangnick is sort of Jesse Marsh's big Red Bull mentor, isn't he? He's the guy who taught him everything he knows, who changed his whole conception of football. That this is, the play style is just exactly what he's learned from Ralph, and we can see it getting just battered around the park by Manchester City like a paper bag in the wind, which is
the difference is
sort of a problem we've had already. We've been there,
but the difference is their players can't be asked doing what he's asking of them. That's so evident, and there's something toxic there that they just don't feel like they want to do the work.
But I think Solskjaer let them do what they wanted, more or less. Then his way of fixing it was to get Ronaldo in, because he's professional and they won't have custard on the pudding or whatever fucking daft thing he said. It was custard a standard part of training before, and then now Ronaldo can't be asked either. So the man they brought, amazingly bringing in an old narcissist to sort out the discipline within the squad has failed
on £500,000 a week.
Amazingly, that hasn't worked. It seems such an obvious plan as well.
At the risk of sounding like Johnny United, I would probably take our squad over theirs in terms of just like pure effort and putting a plan onto the pitch. So I'm trying not to judge Rangnick's impact, because he's working with a load of absolute spoiled idiots. But it is interesting to kind of watch. And with what was the other big result of the weekend as well? Hassan Hurtle getting done 4-0 by Aston Villa with a 4-2-2-2. Okay, let's all just stay steady.
He'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Our players are great. As Steve Nicol says, we've got a real squad of just wall-to-wall quality. They've really proven that they're definitely good enough. I am fine. Everything's going to be okay.
It will be okay.
Yeah.
That wraps up propaganda for this week. We'll do more propaganda. It depends on the turnaround, doesn't it? It'll probably be into next week when we look at Villa and Norwich.
Yeah.
And and that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
The Square Ball Podcast.